Examples of low interest loans. An employee obtained a loan of 50,000 Rand from his employer on 1 December 2022 to pay for a family holiday, and the employee charged him interest at 2.5% per annum. The employee had the option to use a credit card, but then the interest would have been 15% per annum, and the employee repaid the loan in full on 31 January 2023. What is the value of the fringe benefit that will be included in the employee's gross income for the 2023 year of assessment? So the official rate of interest must be used to calculate the benefit because this is a low interest loan, only 2.5%. So if we look at the tables below, the official rate of interest as obtained from the SARS website between 1 December 2022 and 31 January 2023 was 8%. So this is the official rate, and the official rate is determined by taking the repo rate, that's the repurchase rate of the South African Reserve Bank, plus 1%. So in a question, you will be given either the repo rate or the official rate. If you are given the repo rate, then you have to add 1% to get to the official rate. Or if the official rate is given to you, then you don't have to do any adjustment. So just remember that. Okay, so we are going to use 8% per annum. Now, the difference between the 8% and the 2.5% the employee is charged, that's a benefit multiplied by the loan amount of 50,000 Rand, and it was given from 1 December to 31 January, so that's 62 days, 31 in December and 31 in January, 62 days over a total of 365 days in the year. So the benefit is then calculated at 467 Rand, which will be included in gross income. Okay, in this example, A obtained a loan of 50,000 Rand from his employer on 1 December 2022 to pay for study fees, and the employer charged him interest at 2.5% per annum, and A could have used his credit card, but then the interest would have been 15% per annum. A repaid the loan in full on 31 January 2023. What is the value of the fringe benefit that will be included in A's gross income? But there are certain exclusions to the rule here, and one of them is if a loan is made available to an employee in order to assist the employee to further his or her studies, that loan is excluded, and then there is no fringe benefit in that instance. So this will be the exclusion and there will not be any benefit. A obtains a loan again from the employer of 3,000 Rand on 1 December 2022 to pay for a family holiday, and the employer again charges 2.5% interest per annum, and A could have used his credit card but would have paid 15% per annum, and the loan was repaid on 31 January 2023 in full. Now, what's the value of the fringe benefit in A's gross income? So we must look at, does an exclusion apply again? And there is an exclusion of casual loans that are 3,000 Rand or less, and it's of a short-term nature, are excluded. So if it's not short-term or more than 3,000, then there would be a benefit. But in this instance, it would be excluded then. But note that it must be casual, so this can't happen too often. If it starts happening too often, then it won't be casual anymore, and then it would have to be taxed. A deemed loan. Yeah, deemed loan mustn't be confused with the accommodation fringe benefit, because here B rents a house from his employer from 1 March 2022 and is given an option to acquire the house owned by his employer at a cost of 480,000 Rand. So that would be stipulated in the agreement. And the rent expense is 1,332 Rand per month and is based on 3.33% of the purchase price. And the house cost the employer 455,000 Rand, and assume the repurchase rate or repo rate has been 7% for the whole year of assessment. Calculate the taxable benefit, if any. So we know a deemed loan is an employee rents a house from an employer and is given the option in the agreement to purchase the house at a future date at the stipulated price in the agreement, which was done here, and there must be a rental expense paid that's determined on the value of the purchase price of the house in the agreement. So we see that also happens here. So the requirements are met for this fringe benefit to be calculated. So now we must calculate it, and excuse me, the calculation is as follows. So the purchase price in the agreement is 480,000 Rand, multiplied with the official rate of interest, so which is then calculated as the repo rate of 7% plus 1% gives you 8%, and it's for the full year times 365 divided by 365 minus, well, you can either calculate the rent that was paid for the house by the employee, so it was 1,332 Rand times 12. Then we get the value of the benefit is 22,416 Rand. Or if you want to do it the other way around, again, the official rate is 7 plus 1%, is 8% less what was calculated as a percentage of the purchase price of the house. The rent was 3.33%, so 8% less 3.33%, and that difference multiplied by the 480,000 Rand purchase price for the whole year equals 22,416 Rand. So that's how that benefit is then determined.